Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. The federal government is approaching new financial troubles. The Treasury Department now warning it will run out of cash by next month. Our Washington correspondent Raquel Martin reports now on what the Treasury Secretary wants Congress to do about it in our top story at 5.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the U.S. economy will likely suffer irreparable damage if Congress does not raise the debt ceiling soon.
It has to happen.
Wednesday, Speaker Nancy Pelosi agreed Congress must act to ensure the federal government is not forced to default.
Even the threat of not lifting it lowered our credit rating.
In a new letter to congressional leaders, Yellen said the Treasury already exhausted extraordinary measures to keep cash flowing and will run out of funds by next month. Pelosi says Republicans must step in to help.
3 times during the Trump administration, we all cooperated to get past this. And hopefully they will be responsible.
But the majority of Senate Republicans say they will not raise the debt ceiling, only to then watch Democrats pass new massive spending bills.
It's ironic because the Democrats are prepared to spend $3.5 trillion with just Democrat votes.
Florida Republican Senator Marco Rubio says if Democrats want Republican help, they should abandon their partisan agenda.
But if what they want to do is spend $3.5 trillion with 50 votes on the vice president, without any Republican support in the Senate, then they should do the debt limit that way too. They should have the courage to do that.
Pelosi says Democrats aren't planning to go that route.
We'll have several options. We'll make them well known to you as we narrow and as we go forward.
In Washington, Raquel Martin, KCAU 9 News.
Unless Congress addresses that debt ceiling, payments on Social Security, Medicare, military spending, and other obligations will stop. Well, as we know, students were impacted tremendously by the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. And with many kids now suffering from learning loss, state departments of education have received millions of federal dollars in what's called ESSER funds. That's ESSER, to help bridge the gap in lost learning time. There has already been 2 rounds of ESSER money allocated, with a 3rd round provided by the American Rescue Plan back in March. The deadline for how districts plan on using that ESSER money is now approaching on September 15th. Public transit in the Norfolk area is getting a major makeover. Norfolk Public Transportation is rebranding now as North Fork Area Transit, with new vehicles and new services coming in 2022, so just a few months. Forklift will be a regularly scheduled bus service within Norfolk. ExpressLift will be an on-demand service similar to Uber. That's also coming in 2022. And finally, for transportation outside city limits, there is Telelift with 24-hour advance reservation. That is available now. You can find more details like hours and costs online on our website at SiouxlandProud.com or click this story on the KCAU 9 mobile news app. As the harvest season approaches, collisions involving farming vehicles are more likely this time of year on our roads. 97 crashes, 10 serious injuries, and 2 fatalities have already occurred this year. That's just from collisions with farming equipment. State Trooper Carrie Yaniff says that people need to be more alert this time of year for these farming vehicles.
So that's obviously 97 crashes too many. We just want to make sure that people are slowing down, that they're aware that the farming equipment is going to be moving a lot slower than your actual, car. So we just want to make sure that they're slowing down to making sure that they're paying attention.
The troopers add that accidents can also happen when people attempt to pass vehicles in a no passing zone. The 2-year Highway 20 bypass project is nearing its completion. The finishing touches on the curbs and drainage areas are being done. Plus a few more ramp closures, and the amount of cones that you see along the road will be decreasing. Again, that's sometime in the near future.
Been a pretty good year for construction, certainly dry, and contractors taking some extra effort, doing some work at night when it got to be, when they recognized there'd be an issue with traffic. So it's continued to move very well.
Work on the main highway is set to be done in early October, with completion of the northeastbound ramp from I-29 sometime in the month of November. And it's time now for our first check on the weather. Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson standing by. Scott, as we just heard a few moments ago, that gentleman saying it has been dry. So good news for construction workers this year, bad news for farmers. But if you're just looking to get outside, a great day.
Yeah, with more days like today, hopefully the construction work can get ahead of schedule here on the bypass here in Sioux City. Checking out what's happening as far as the high temperatures go today, you can see that they were able to lift into the mid-70s to lower 80s across Siouxland, 82 in Tekamah and Norfolk, 80 degrees. The high temperature in Sioux City for this afternoon, 77 in Sheldon, Orange City, and Spencer. Tonight is going to be fairly cool out there as temperatures look to descend into the middle and upper 40s throughout the area. So a slight chill to the air is expected. We should expect to see some more sunshine and pleasant conditions moving forward, but there are some rain chances for next week. We'll talk about those coming up in the 9 on 9 forecast. Sophie?
All right, thanks, Scott. The head of the World Health Organization, or WHO, is calling on rich countries with large supplies of coronavirus vaccine to refrain from offering booster shots through the end of this year, doubling down on an earlier appeal that was largely ignored. Pharmaceutical manufacturers say that vaccine supplies are high enough to allow for boosters and first shots in well-supplied countries and those with shortages alike. The WHO adds that 5.5 billion COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered so far. Again, that's worldwide, but 80% of those have been to upper and middle income countries. One of the nation's largest Confederate monuments has come down in the former capital of the Confederacy. The figure of General Robert E. Lee atop a horse towered over Richmond, Virginia for more than a century now. It was officially lowered to the ground this morning and a work crew began cutting it to pieces. A crowd of onlookers erupted in cheers and song. Among those present was a Richmond native, Muhammad Abdul Rahman.
It was erected in fear and to sustain the white supremacy that has been endemic in the Commonwealth since Jamestown. It is a great day for the city of Richmond.
That statue will be placed in storage at a state-owned facility as the next steps are planned for that area. Tomorrow, the process continues as plaques from the base will be removed, plus an old time capsule believed to be on site there, replaced with 39 new items to reflect this historic moment. A city in the state of Colorado has agreed to pay $3 million to a 73-year-old woman with dementia who was roughly arrested by police last year. An officer arrested Karen Garner in Loveland after she left a store without paying for about $14 worth of items. Police body camera video you see here on your screen shows he grabbed her arm and also pushed her to the ground. A federal lawsuit claims that the officer dislocated her shoulder by shoving her handcuffed left arm forward onto the hood of a patrol car.
Enough. I am sick of having to be the only person holding bad police work accountable in your department. I am sick of being the lead internal investigator at the LPD, but I won't stop, so let me make you an offer. You want to build back trust? You want to restore faith to the LPD? Resign.
Loveland City Manager apologized to Garner and to her family in announcing that proposed settlement this afternoon. More than 100 stolen and cloned bank cards were discovered at Nashville International Airport. Police say in addition to the stolen cards, they found more than $40,000 in cash when they arrested Jan Demeter. According to an affidavit, surveillance video catches Demeter in the act, leading police to his arrest at the airport, where he was then set to return a rental car. Identity theft specialists say this case is unusual. Thieves normally don't gain access to PIN numbers. However, data breaches are common and often do include debit and credit card information.
With all the data breaches that happen all the time, it's tough to prevent your card from being stolen, right? I mean, it can be online, you got the skimming devices, there's all kinds of different ways that can happen. We do always recommend clients set up like text alerts or email alerts with their bank so that they know immediately when a transaction has occurred.
Now, Carolyn says some banks have denied cases like this one because the fraudster had the victim's PIN number, further highlighting the importance of protecting your personal information. Well, it's a shoplifting gone viral online, and police tonight are hoping this video will help them catch a pair of suspects. Coming up in about 10 minutes.
And we can look forward to a warmer weekend here in Siouxland as temperatures rise into the mid and upper 80s. Some super September weather, but there are some slight rain chances as we head into next week. Your 9 on 9 forecast coming up next.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Sophie Erber and Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Some more sunshine and spectacular September weather, becoming just a little bit hotter to close out the 9 on 9 forecast. Well, here's an excellent shot that was taken in Sioux City, a mix of some sun and clouds above and the silhouette of the Sergeant Floyd Monument. So thanks to our viewer for snapping that very cool photo. If you have a picture that you want to share with everybody, make sure to find our website, SiouxlandProud.com. Just roll the mouse over to the weather tab, scroll on down to send us your photos, and we'll try to feature them here throughout the day.
I've seen a lot of shots of that monument. That is one of the better ones. Really cool.
Yeah, one of those iconic Sioux City things, so really love to see a picture like that.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that one, Scott. Well, new technology may change how your brain health is monitored in our future. What artificial intelligence can diagnose simply from blood flow in your brain, coming up in about 7 minutes. But first, with hundreds of dollars in stolen clothes on her arm, a shoplifting suspect was left behind by the getaway car. What police know from this viral video? Next. Illinois police hope a viral TikTok video will help them to catch 2 suspected shoplifters. One suspect has already been arrested, apparently after getting locked out of the getaway car. Andy Banker has this video.
Police say 3 women went into Hibbett Sporting Goods around 4:30 Saturday afternoon, and one of the workers in the store thought one of the women looked familiar, like someone who had stolen from Hibbett's in the past. So the workers called police, and officers were on the lot when the women came out. Police say with 2 women already in the getaway car, the third appears to get locked out.
These individuals exited the building with basically a handful of clothes, each of them. And ran to a vehicle that was parked nearby. One of the individuals was unable to get in the vehicle. I think the video shows that.
The video also shows something else that greatly concerns police. Just before the woman drops the clothes and then starts to run. Watch it again. The shopper in red has to step back from the speeding car. It's a good thing she had her head up and wasn't looking at her phone or maybe putting keys into a handbag. Also, the getaway driver nearly crashes into that oncoming vehicle, an Edwardsville police cruiser.
The bottom line is it could have had, dire consequences for somebody just out shopping with their kids or something.
So they just drove off?
After seeing the video, these frequent shoppers say the same thing. They're glad police recovered at least a portion of the clothing and captured one of the suspects. But they're also glad they weren't here when it happened.
There's always little kids running around throughout here too. I mean, they weren't looking, they were just looking to get away. Yeah, so I mean, that could have ended any which way, but it didn't.
News Nation Prime comes your way every night at 7 on News Nation. At 6, there's the Donlin Report, and we have a preview.
Tonight on the Donlin Report, our country changed forever. Images seared into history and our memories. How 9/11 created division still felt today. And an officer explains how terrorism has changed policing. Now here's Leland Vittert with a preview of On Balance.
Thanks, Joe. Democrats are fighting to get Republican phone records, but it's an uphill battle. We're going to tell you the high-tech obstacle in the Capitol riots investigation, plus top secret documents from 9/11. That's coming up on Balance tonight, followed by News Nation Prime.
If you're interested, you could see some of the channels listed here or check your local guide. Well, gathering information on brain health can be costly and time-consuming too, but a new device is using robotics, artificial intelligence, and cloud computing to make it easier. We'll check it out next. A new medical device tonight is giving doctors some real-time insight into our brains to look for signs of stroke, Parkinson's disease, and much more. Rich DeMuro shows us how.
X-ray, MRI, CT scan, common procedures at medical centers everywhere. But when it comes to a stroke, diagnosis can be a bit less scientific.
You'll be asked to raise your hands. You'll be asked to speak to see if there's slurring. You'll be asked if there's tingling. And through that very subjective exam, they're going to decide whether or not you're having a stroke.
These are the robotic pods. These are the transducers.
A startup named Novasignal wants to change that.
I think this is really a fundamental shift in how brain health will be managed.
Robert Hamilton is founder and inventor of the technology.
It is just using ultrasound, as you might think of general ultrasound, to look at how the blood flow is moving in different parts of the brain.
I'll just have you have a seat here on the bed. I'm going to start this up really quick. These dots tell the robot where it is allowed to go. I'm going to have you lay down with your head in the cradle here.
The machine uses artificial intelligence and robotics to find and lock on to a small window in the skull, where it can read blood movement in the brain.
On the right side, I'm actually listening to a smaller blood vessel towards the back of the head.
It's non-invasive and doesn't hurt.
When the probes were searching for the veins, it almost felt like a little temple massage.
Real-time imagery shows the speed and force of blood, telltale shapes, and the presence of clots or air bubbles. Factors that could lead to stroke, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, or indicate an injury. Nova Signals tech allows anyone to be trained to administer it. Results can be streamed in real time to a doctor anywhere.
Nova Signal's goal is to get their equipment into as many medical facilities as possible. Now, the hardware isn't even that expensive, but because it's so new, it is more about educating health professionals that it's even available. We do take a live look outside right now, and Scott will return with one more check on your forecast. First, this live look at Wayne America. Before we wrap up here at 5, let's check in first with Tim for what's coming up at 6. Hi, Tim.
Hello. Good afternoon there, Sophie. Updated numbers today from the Iowa Department of Health showing that 30 people across the state of Iowa have died of COVID-related symptoms in just the last week. What else that report shows coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. Also, the harvest season can be a dangerous time for farmers as accidents involving equipment usually spike at this time of year. Reporter Nick Wilson takes us out on the road, shows us what Siouxlanders can do to prevent injuries on and off of the highway. And there's a new piece of art on display in South Dakota. It's a steel sculpture on the campus of a college, and you might be surprised who designed and built this piece of art. Kelly Volk introduces you to the college student who got the job done, coming up after World News Tonight. That's when we'll see you in the studio. Thanks.
Pretty cool and very talented.
Neat.
Thanks a lot. And a nice night outside, but as you mentioned, temperatures, some of the chilliest that we've felt in a long time.
That's right, Sophie. It looks like temperatures will be dipping into the 40s early tomorrow morning, so maybe not a bad idea to send the kids to the bus stop with a light jacket or a sweatshirt. As we head through tomorrow afternoon, we'll be able to snag on to some more warmth, sunny skies, a beautiful day, a high temperature of 80. It'll become hotter even for Friday and Saturday, highs in the middle 80s. We cool off some heading into next week as we bring in some rain chances beginning on Monday.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott. Thank you for joining us. We hope you'll join us all here again at 6 with Tim and Jake. Until then, have a great night.